Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to learn multiplication of decimal fractions. Okay. So the first topic is multiplication by decimal fractions by 10 or multiples of 10. Second one is multiplication of a decimal fraction by whole number, and the third one is multiplication of a decimal number decimal fraction by another decimal fraction. So let us try to see the first one, that is multiplication by 10 or multiples of 10. Let us try to see how are we going to write. You can read the rule here. Let me take one example and then explain. Okay, move the decimal point towards the right as many places as the number of zeros. So this 57.78 is multiplied by 10. So for this one you have to write the same number, copy this same number here. Okay, copy this. I am copying. Then where will the decimal point move? It will move towards the right side. Okay, from the original position. How many place? One place, because there is only one zero. So let me take one more. This one 98.574 is multiplied by 100. Then this will be equal to you copy the same number here without the decimal point, and we will insert the decimal point by counting the number of zeros. Okay, so just look here, how many zeros are there? There are two zeros. Okay, that means the decimal point will move towards the right by two digits. Okay, means this from here it will go to where? Here, correct? So where I am putting the decimal point, between 7 and 4, two places. Okay, next is this multiplication of a decimal fraction by whole number. The first step is multiply in an ordinary way, and then insert the decimal point after leaving from the right as many places as there are in the multiplicand. So there are two words now here. Okay, one is multiplicand and another is multiplier. So which is the multiplicand? The first number written here, this is the multiplicand, and after this multiplication sign there is one more number, that is the multiplier. So now let us multiply in ordinary way, means without the decimal point here. Here is decimal point, but there is no decimal point here, correct? So multiply in a ordinary way means without the decimal point. Just multiply these two here and try to get the answer here. Okay, for me I have multiplied and my answer is how much? Say this is 5436. Now I will count the number of digits at the right side. Okay, so here is only one, so I will also count here only one, then I will put the decimal point here. Okay, at the exact place. The second one, let me take one more. This is what? 89.454, which is multiplied by another whole number, that is 32. So multiply them in an ordinary way means without the decimal point. Here is decimal point, here is no decimal point, correct? So just remove the decimal point and multiply together and try to get the answer. Okay, I am putting here question mark, that is for you. Okay, multiply yourself. For me this is equal to I have multiplied these two numbers and my answer is, let me write here, equal to. Okay, this is the answer. Now count the number of digits at the right side of the decimal point, 1 2 and 3, and in the answer, in the product, count from the right side, 1 2 and then 3. Now put the decimal point there. Okay, you have to put the decimal point between 2 and 5. So this is the way. The third one is multiplication of a decimal fraction by another decimal fraction, means two decimal fractions are multiplied together. Okay, two decimal fractions. How are you going to multiply? Just look here, multiply them in ordinary way without the decimal point, and after that we are going to insert the decimal point by counting the number of places. Okay, how many digits are there at the right side of the decimal point in the multiplier, and in the multiplicand we need to add those decimal places and then we will insert in the product accordingly. So let us try to see the examples. Okay, and then try to understand how are we going to multiply these two kind of decimal fractions. You can go through the rules here. Okay, I am writing it here. Pause the video and you can read it. Okay, so let us just try to explain this multiplication by taking some examples. It will be better, easy to understand, I mean. So let me take some examples. Say two decimal fractions. Here how many decimal fractions we need? We need 2. Okay, so let me write 2.65 multiplied by another decimal fraction. Here also we need one more decimal fraction, not 10 or not any whole number, but we would need decimal fraction. Let me take one small number, that is 1.3. am I right? 2.65 multiplied by 1.3. so multiply these two numbers in ordinary way, means without the decimal point. Don't insert the decimal point. Here there is no decimal point, here there are decimal point, correct? So without the decimal point, multiply them and try to get the answer here. For me, I have already multiplied and my answer is here. Okay, now our target is to find the decimal point. Where are we going to put the decimal point in the answer? So count here, 1 2 at the right side. Okay, at the right side of the decimal point, 1 2 here, and here also there is 1. That is how much total? 3. So count from the right side, 1 2 then 3. Why 3? Because there is 1 2 and 3 in this side, correct? So the decimal point is there. Okay, so let me see, let us see one more example. Let me write one decimal fraction, that is 56.87, which is multiplied by say 6.23. okay, here the point I am writing it down. Anyways, so when these two numbers are multiplied, how much you will get? Just take these two numbers without the decimal point, okay, and then multiply in the ordinary way, usual way, how you multiplied in lower class. Okay, question mark for you, you try to multiply yourself. For me, I have multiplied and I have got the answer. Okay, let me write my answer here. This one, when this 56.87 multiplied by 6.23. okay, where will be the decimal point here? Now let us try to see. Count the number of digits at the right side here. In the first decimal number there are 2, and in the second decimal number how many are there? Again count, there are 2, 1 and 2. So in the in the product, in the answer, you have to start counting from the left side. Okay, from the left side. So just count from the left side, 1 2 3 and 4. So where will be the decimal point? It will be here, correct? So insert there one decimal point, your multiplication is completed. Okay, so I am pointing the arrow where you will write the decimal point. Then the next is what? There are some properties of multiplication of decimals. So let us try to see some properties. Okay, say today's video would be little bit longer, so please bear with me. Okay, don't feel don't get bored. So property 1 is, say change of order does not change the product of two decimals. Okay, two decimals means two decimal fractions, means when you multiply two decimal fractions, even if you change their order, it does not change the product remains the same. What is the meaning of this one? Let us try to multiply two decimal fractions, that is 2.3 multiplied by another decimal fraction. Okay, two decimal fractions we did. So let me multiply by 4.5, this will be equal to, okay, then let me try to change the order. Okay, order means let me write 4.5 first and then I will write 2.3 in the second place. Okay, so I am changing the order, correct? First and second I am changing their places. Okay, so what will happen if I do like this? I am changing their order. 2.3 multiplied by 4.5 in the first case, and in the second case 4.5 is multiplied by 2.3. so I am changing their order, correct? So now what do you think, what will be the answer here? In the first one, what will be the answer in the first place and in the second place? Okay, the answer will be the same, means the product, means the answer will remain the same even if you change the order of the two decimal fractions. This is property 1, okay, or the first property of multiplication of decimal fractions. So in the second case also, here also I will get the same answer. Okay, the answer will remain the same, that is the product will remain the same. The second property is, let me write, this is the second property. In this case, say change of group does not change the product of more than two decimal fractions, means if we are given, three decimal fractions, and if we are asked to multiply those fractions, then even if you group them in different way or in different ways, you will get the same answer. Mean the product will remain the same. There is no change in the final value, the final product. Okay, so let me take three decimal fractions. I am indicating by three different colors. Okay, the first one is 2.3 represented by blue, and then the next one is orange, that is 1.4, and then the last one is what, I'm more than 2 means I am taking here 3. Okay, you can take 4 or 5, any. So last one is 6.3. Now I will group them in different order and then I will multiply. Let me take in the first case, let me multiply, let me multiply which one, the first one, that is 2.3, and then I will multiply what, say which one, there are three numbers. Okay, so I can multiply any, correct, 2.3 multiplied by 1.4. Let me multiply these two first, let me group them first, and then the last one I will write separately. Okay, that is 6.3 I will write separate outside, correct. I am writing this 2.3 and 1.4 inside the bracket, correct. So what will happen if I do like this, I am grouping them, correct. I am grouping 2.3 and 1.4 first, so I will multiply 2.3 and 1.4 first, and then later I will multiply again by 6.3. so this 2.3 into 1.4, it will give you how much when you multiply these two decimal fractions, the answer is 3.22. again this is multiplied by 6.3, correct. So this two multiplication, it is giving how much, 3.22. okay, now when you multiply these two again, how much you will get, you will get how much, 20.286. now what will happen if I change this group. Okay, I will change the group. How I will change this, first, second and third number in different way. I'm going to multiply 2.3 multiplied by 6.3. okay, 2.3 I will group, I will bring this one here and I will bring this one here outside. Okay, so let me see, 2.3 multiplied by 6.3, and I will bring out this 1.4. okay, after all these three decimal fractions, they are what, multiplied together, am I right? So let me multiply them in different group. How it will be, say let me multiply first 2.3 and 6.3. so this 2.3 and 6.3 will give you how much, just multiply. okay, check in your notebook how much you will get. You will get exactly what, 14.49. again this 14.49 is multiplied by the third decimal fraction, that is 1.4. this 1.4 will come here, so it will be 1.4, and then multiply these two together again, how much you will get, just check. okay, check in your notebook, 14.49 multiplied by 1.4, this will again give you the same answer like before, correct. So even if you change the group here, am I right, the group is different, even if you change the group, the product, means this answer is called the product. okay, this will remain the same, correct. And then the last group I am taking here is 1.4. let me multiply this 1.4 by what, 6.3, and again I will keep this 2.3 outside. okay, what will happen if I group like this, so this is again last one, last decimal fraction is 2.3. so what will happen if I multiply like this, say this is for your task. okay, multiply yourself and check, is the last answer coming here, is this equal to this first two. okay, just check yourself. okay, then this is the, say that property. okay, property number, which property we have discussed just now, we have discussed property number 2. this is the third property. Third property is very easy. okay, it is quite very easy. Say the third property says that the product of a decimal fraction and 1 is the decimal fraction itself. Means when any decimal fraction is multiplied by 1, you will get the answer as what, that particular decimal fraction itself. For example, it is very easy, when you multiply this one decimal fraction, how much is that, 456.756 multiplied by 1. then what will be the answer? What do you think? The answer will be what? That same decimal fraction itself. Okay, there will be no change. Even when you multiply by what? 1, you will get the same decimal fraction as the answer. That is the property number 3. Okay, so you see that same decimal fraction, am I right, in the answer. So the last property is what? Property 4. It says that, what does property 4 says? The property 4, it says that the product of a decimal fraction and 0 is 0. Means when you multiply a decimal fraction by 0, you will get the answer as what? 0. So example here is what? When a decimal fraction is multiplied by 0, you will get the answer as 0. Means any decimal fraction multiplied by 0, you will get 0. Means just take any decimal fraction. Here I am taking what? 473.34, which is multiplied by 0. The answer is what? 0. Okay. After this, there are so many exercises you can solve after listening to this discussion. Okay. After this discussion, you can solve so many exercises there. Not so many, like 2 or 3 only, I think. So try to solve those exercises. If you have any problem, just tell me. We can sort the problems. Okay, we can sort it out together. Okay, so till then, you keep on solving those exercises, and then if you face any problem, just message me or contact me anyhow. Okay, you might have got my WhatsApp number also, so message me. We can solve the problem, find out the solution together. Okay, so till then, you keep on solving and take care. Okay, thank you so much.